If I told you that reading Deadpool comics before going to see Deadpool and Wolverine would actually enhance your movie-going experience for this particular movie, would you actually believe me?
Duh.
Well, that's exactly what I'm going to try and do in this video, because I am here to tell you that reading right before, literally right before the movie, enhances immensely. Salutations and fist bumps, folks. Welcome back to the grid. Deadpool and Wolverine is right around the corner, literally next week as I'm recording this video, and it feels like it has the weight of Endgame attached to it in terms of all of the things that could happen inside of this movie. Not to mention the gang of interwoven cameos that we will potentially see in this movie, a lot of them primarily coming from their own respective movies, which is understandable. But as we all know, they are characters of the comics, so they will have things that come directly from the comics inside of the interweaves of this story. Interweaves?
What?
So, if you haven't already, I'm going to suggest 4 series that you should look into. You don't have to read all of the actual comics inside of the particular events, but if you want to know the entire story of the event, you probably would want to do that. But I'm going to pinpoint specific issues that you would probably want to look into unless the actual event isn't that long. Or if you've never read any of the comics at all in terms of all the things that Deadpool has done inside the Marvel Universe. Again, this is a safe space. No judgment here. Speaking from my own experience, I literally did this exact strategy when I went to go and see Blue Beetle, because admittedly I hadn't really read much of his stuff until I heard about his movie being created. So when I actually went and did my research on the character and then went and saw the movie the same week almost, it changed everything for what I was looking for that particular character, because I was abreast of everything that he had done inside of his own run. And I wasn't just going off of history of things that I had read previously before. I had actually literally just read these pages before walking into the theater the same week. But by now, you're probably wondering, what the heck should I actually be reading in terms of all the events that could happen with Deadpool inside of them? Don't worry, I got you. And by the way, I'm going to, like I said, give you 4 events that you should read now, but inside of the description and as a pinned comment below, I will also give you a list of other Deadpool events that you might want to go and check out if you have the time between now and actually going to see the movie. First up on the list is obviously Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe, because in this series written by Cullen Bunn and artist Delibor Talahik, Deadpool literally hippity hops all over the Marvel Universe, taking heads and rolling them as much as he possibly can with every single person that he comes across in terms of a villain or a hero. And if you're one of those folks that you're really ready for the action to start as soon as you're reading it, you won't have to wait very long, because it literally picks up from the first issue, the very first couple of pages that this event actually starts. But in my opinion, this event will give you a lot of some of the Easter eggs that will potentially be said or shown inside of this movie, because it's rumored that this event was the lion's share inspiration of the script for Ryan Reynolds and director Sean Levy. Now, how true that actually is, you just gotta read it and actually go see the movie and see, but I believe that they will have a lot of the tropes inside of this particular event actually inside of this movie. And it actually also might help you find clues as to who might be in this movie before you actually go and see it, if you want some of those out of your own mind before you actually go see the movie. By the way, if this has been at any point insightful on what you could expect to see inside of Deadpool and Wolverine before you actually go and see the movie, fist bump that like button for me. I'd appreciate it. Up next on this list would be the entire run of Deadpool Volume 3 from 1997, which is about 70 issues strong. But if you do nothing else inside of this event in terms of reading the issues here, I particularly want to call out Deadpool Volume 3, Number 4. Now, I don't know why, but I have a very sneaky suspicion that something in terms of Wade actually being associated with gamma rays or something like that is going to actually happen, or we're going to see it happen inside of this movie. Or at some point, we're going to loosely dance around the fact that he came into contact with some kind of gamma radiation. And inside of this particular issue, inside of Deadpool Volume 3, Issue 4, you will actually see that actually happen too. But I have no scooper evidence or anything like that to actually back that up at all. It is literally just something that I feel in my own gut to corroborate this particular feeling that I have. It is just something that I have a hunch on, that I feel like they're going to touch on somewhere inside of this movie as they go throughout the entirety of the multiverse. But we also, in terms of the way that this film is going to be portraying him, we also will come to find out that he has a really soft heart, which in this comic series, you see a lot of the softer moments, especially when it comes to love interests of Deadpool. Next on the list is Jonathan Hickman's Time Runs Out, which honestly is more of a New Avengers story or something like that than it is a Deadpool story. However, because of the way that this movie is constructed with the TVA and all that kind of stuff, and everything seems to be leading up to a road to Secret Wars, because this comic event was the prelude to Secret Wars, at least the 2015 version of that, it feels like this will possibly be a event that will also kind of loosely give us an idea of what to expect when we go and see this movie, in terms of all the TVA shenanigans that we have to come in contact with that we haven't actually been able to explain before. Now, this series is a fairly quick run, a 20-issue event, but it is a banger. And like I said, given the fact that this movie particularly will be the setup ground for going into Secret Wars, because we know that a lot of stuff has to be talked about and paid off in the end. This will probably be the way, or a way of looking at that through the lens of the TVA from this prelude event. In terms of issues that I would recommend you actually read, I would say go and read Avengers 2012 number 39, New Avengers 2013 number 28, Avengers 2012 number 40, and New Avengers 2013 number 33. Then the current series of Deadpool and Wolverine World War III. Now, I'm mentioning this series because of its relative newness, but also because of the back and forth banter that happens inside of the actual pages of these issues, because literally it is back and forth as soon as both of Deadpool and Wolverine are inside of the pages together, and it seems like a lot of the same stuff is going to happen to this pairing on screen because of the way that it has been written for both Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, because of their relationship off screen and their chemistry, because they're literally almost like best friends. But in terms of Deadpool and Wolverine, we know that they're rivals and have some quarrels between the two of them, and we've seen some of those jabs in earlier Deadpool movies. But the series is, at the present time of recording this video, is 3 issues strong. So if you can find all 3 inside of a local comic shop, by all means, go right ahead and have a ball. But if you can't, at the moment, the first 2 are actually available on Marvel Unlimited. But like I said, when you read these pages, make sure to pay attention to the rhythm and the pace of how Wade and Logan talk to each other as they're on missions together, because it almost feels like August Wilson-esque in the way that the dialogue flows between the two of them. And it feels like, from recent press events and the jabs that would come from those press events between Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, it feels like their chemistry on screen is going to shine through inside of this movie, and it's going to be a beautiful bromance to actually go and see. But also, as an honorable mention, I'd also like to put in the ring here Deadpool Merk with a Mouth, which is a run from 2009 to 2010. And it actually allows us to see Deadpool teleporting around inside of the Marvel universe, or around in terms of wherever he's trying to go. And we also know that he's going to do that a lot in terms of jumping through portals inside of this movie. But it possibly might be talked about that he doesn't have to do any of the portal jumping at all. He's doing that because of the sake of Wolverine, because he can. It's also fair to mention that we might get a zombie Deadpool head as well inside of this movie. And if you don't or haven't ever seen that character before, you might think that they just cooked that up inside of the kitchen, but it's from this series right here. And there's also possible mentions of a sighting of Lady Deadpool as well, and that also is inside of this event as well. But the main driving thing for this particular area, the reason why I'm even mentioning it here at all, is because the entirety of the storyline for Merk with the Mouth is that Deadpool goes through a bunch of different hoops and teleportation situations, literally through an actual portal in many cases, because he's trying to set things back in order from the start of this event. But in terms of issues that you would definitely want to put your hands on, I would definitely say Deadpool Merk with the Mouth #1, and at the very least, Deadpool Merk with the Mouth #7. With Deadpool and Wolverine hitting theaters literally within a week of dropping this particular video, it is not a whole lot of time that we now have to wait for this to actually be in our possession as fans and actually being able to go and see all of the beautifulness of this movie, which I'm assuming that it's going to be beautiful. But hopefully now you have some ammo to go and read up on, to be very much in the know of the characters that you're going to see on screen. But if you'd like to understand some of the recent footage for Deadpool that has hit the streets from Shanghai, go ahead and hit this video up here. And if you want to go back down memory lane of X-Men '97, go ahead and hit this playlist over here. And until next time, y'all be smooth, blurred out.